Did you call my car a taxi? Did you call this car a taxi? It's alright if you did, just raise your hand. Did you call my car a taxi? Because if we're calling it a taxi, well, we might as well just make it live up to its name, am I right? Are we calling this thing a taxi or what? Because now it's a taxi. Look what you made me do. Now, in all seriousness, I have no idea if I'm actually going to run these on the car, but I did get them cut out. I kind of like the taxi checkers, to be honest. I kind of like the whole taxi thing on the side of it. I don't know if I'd run the fake aspect of it, but I might run the taxi, the not for hire, and the checkers. I don't know, but anyways, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Call my car a taxi. I'll one-up you and actually make it a taxi. So, today I have been putting something off that I've been needing to do for a while. It's probably Karma's longest overdue maintenance item. Repair, call it whatever you want. I need to rebuild an axle. I've never rebuilt an axle. Can't be that hard. I take the axle out. Once the axle's out, take the boot off. Put the new boot on, re-grease it, put it back in the car, right? Can't be that difficult. I mean, so it seems, I just don't want to do it. But I have to do it today before we drive down to Portland for Big Northwest. So on the table here, I've got like an OEM axle rebuild kit from Subaru. Part number, I'll link this down below if anyone wants it. But it comes with like some grease, a new boot, which is kind of nice, new boot right there. All the new clamps, and then I went down to Subaru earlier this morning and grabbed a new axle nut. Only because if I'm pulling that axle nut off, you gotta replace it if you're putting a new one on. So, before I get this thing, actually I gotta get it jacked up. Before I get it jacked up, I also wanna touch on this. Our new case halves for Karma have shipped out. So that means we can get to assembling the new short block for this car. If you remember, I got a set of 06 STI case halves. I sent those down to Outfront Motorsports. They closed decked them, did 1/2-inch head studs. We have CP pistons coming back up. We rebored to 99.75 for the pistons, and then on the back table, I have like the rods, the bearings, everything else to be able to assemble that short block, new case bolts. So, look forward to that next week. So, let's go ahead and get the bumper off this thing. While I have the bumper off, I'm gonna try to fix that intercooler piping to fix that little gap right there. Let's get this bumper off. Let's get the front wheel off on this side. Well, we'll get the front end jacked up, get this front wheel off over here. I'm gonna jack up both sides of the front end just to keep things as level as possible. We are gonna lose some gear oil, so keep that in mind. I have an extra quart of gear oil in there. If I need more, we can swing up to the mod garage and go grab some, but let's fix this axle. I've been trying to put off doing the axle, but I can't put it off any longer. I've gotta do it. Oh, it's toasty in here. It's nice and hot. Bumper can come free. Intercooler piping. I gotta figure something out with you. Up she goes. I wonder if I can talk Melanie into going to the mod garage with me to pick up some oil so I can do an oil change. Are you the broken axle boot? Is that the big ribs, or did I get the big rib or the little rib? Did I get the wrong axle boot? Ha shit. Ha shit. I think I got the wrong axle boot. Ow! Two totally different boots. So I guess I'm replacing both boots on this axle because I already have the other boot, so I might as well. I think Subaru has one in stock, but since the car's already on jack stands and I'm lazy, I'm not going to take it off the jack stands to go back down to Subaru, so I'll wait till Melanie gets home. So in the meantime, there's a couple things I want to knock out. I want to get the oil drained on this, so that way we can get a fresh oil change in there before driving down to Portland. B, I want to mess with this intercooler piping over here on the the driver's side of the car to try to get the bumper to sit a little more flush. So the main issue with this Cobb kit is it does this stupid like U-turn. They do that so you can retain the fog lights, but even with when I had fog lights in the car, it still didn't retain them. Then again, I had the big JDM fogs, so they were bigger than the USDM ones. So I'm gonna try to finagle this intercooler piping as far back as I can. I'll try rotating this coupler up a little bit so that way it takes this whole assembly with it. Let's get the oil drained on this first, and then I'll start like doing some, I don't know, I'll do something with this. Well, let me say this now, it's a good thing that we're rebuilding the engine in this with a stronger, better EJ. Now, this is the first full-on like rebuild I've done myself, of like pulling an engine out, tearing the heads apart, rebuilding the car and everything like that. And you know, the first time you do stuff, it's not always perfect. You learn as you go. But while doing the oil change, I have found either one, like like one oil leak or like a couple small ones. I'm not entirely sure, but it's all puddling up on the bottom of the timing cover. And if there's an oil leak coming from the timing cover, it's either coming from one of two spots, one of three spots. If you have an AVCS car, it could be coming from the AVCS cover that goes on the cam gear. It could be coming from the oil pump if an oil pump seal is bad, but it shouldn't be because that oil pump's relatively new. Or it could be coming from the cam gear seal. So I'm not entirely sure. We're gonna pull a timing cover off to see what's going on, but let me show you what I just found. I'm gonna tell you now, I do apologize for any camera wobbles because I'm going down here. So right there is our timing cover. As you can see, it's looking a little shiny, which means we got some oil coming out. There's also oil on the bottom of the engine down here above the header where the oil pan normally sits, right about there. So that's telling me, and there's oil on the side of the oil pan, which tells me it's probably coming from either the oil pump or the cam gear up there, and it's just getting like thrown to the middle of the car. Now it's not the end of the world, it's nothing hard to fix. All I gotta do is come in here, take off this charge pipe right here. We're gonna pop this timing cover off. It's only 4 bolts. We'll take a look, see at what's going on in there and find out what's going on. Like if it's a small leak, I'm just gonna leave it. If it's a big leak, yeah, I'll fix it. But this engine's only gonna be in the car for another like 3 weeks or so at max, because like I said, we're completely rebuilding everything with new oil pumps, new oil pump, new gears, new gaskets, new everything. So I don't really care if this engine blows up. Matt will, because this is going in the Legacy, but I don't know. Let me finish this oil change, the oil filter on down there, get this thing back on the ground, and we'll see what's going on. And as for the CV boot, nobody local has it, so I just ordered one online. It should be here in a couple days. I don't think I'm gonna get that axle fixed before Big Northwest, but I will link below the inner and the outer axle boots, because this is definitely an outer axle boot, and we need an inner, so we'll just completely rebuild that axle when everything else comes in. All right, Karma, you dirty girl. Why are you leaking oil? Talk to me. Come on, just talk to me. I'm here for you, okay? You're not here for me, I'm here for you. This is how we do things, okay? We are a team, and this is a team effort, Karma. I can't do this without you, and you can't do this without me. Karma, we're supposed to be friends. Did I strip a bolt out and not know it? Do I need new timing covers now? If I do, I'm getting the clear IAG ones. We going fancy if I have to. Oh my god, it is stripped. Who is the asshole that did that? Tanner. Okay, you know what? I think I can peel it back enough to just peek in there. Oil pump, are you leaking? Coming out of the, it's not the power steering pump. Is it the, oh, I see it. Upon further investigation inside of the timing cover, I mean, yeah, there's some oil in there, but it's nothing major. Then I started working my way over here. Down there underneath of the alternator, you can see just a good amount of oil. So then I was like, it's gotta be the oil pump. I was like, it's no way though it's the oil pump, because it's like a newer oil pump. And then if I come back here on our oil pressure sensor, boom, there's oil coming out of that. So let's get that fitting off. Let's see what the hell is going on with that. If that's leaking oil, let's get that corrected, just so we're not leaking oil anymore. Found the problem. My own self-doing. So let me get this alternator out. Let me get the battery disconnected, alternator out, we'll get that sensor out, and we'll see what's going on with that thing. Well, I ain't no mechanic, but I think I found the problem here. So, I did pull that plug out. It did not feel tight at all. I swear I tightened that thing down as much as I did. But you can see like right on top of the oil pump and everything, there is just oil everywhere. So my guess is it was coming out of that plug there, going down, running behind the timing cover, going down onto the oil pan and places like that. So, it's crazy to think, hey, just doing a routine oil change essentially just saved this engine from blowing up. So, lesson learned whenever I go to put ports in engines. Well, whenever I put adapters like that, I swear I had thread tape on this thing, and I did, but I'm going to peel all the thread tape off. I'm going to get everything cleaned up. I'm going to put some Fuji heavy bond on that stuff, the 3-bond OEM sealant. I'll get that back in the car with that sensor, get the alternator back in. I'm also going to clean up this area right down here, but hey, good to know. If you see a random oil leak, take the time to find out where it's coming from, because it could save your engine from blowing up if it's something easy like this. That's funny too, because I was wondering why I was losing so much oil. So So I've got all this reassembled. I got the alternator back on, the battery hooked back up, our oil pressure sensor, everything put back in. I cleaned it all thoroughly so that way it shouldn't pee any more oil. That could have been bad. I could have just blown up this engine, had no idea. That would have sucked. I mean, it really wouldn't have sucked because we have another engine we're about to build, but we still don't want to blow this one up if we can avoid it. It wouldn't bother me if it did blow up, but I don't want to. So I can't start the car quite yet to verify that we don't have any more oil leaks because I need that Fuji 3 bond to like actually cure, adhere, do its job, so that way I don't start it when the sealant's still wet, oil gets in there, compromises everything. So we're gonna let that sit for about an hour. I'm gonna run up to the mod garage with Melanie. I need to grab my engine stand that I have up there right now, so that way I can assemble our new short block for this car that shows up on Thursday or Friday. And I would like to have everything here to be able to put that thing together. So that means we need an engine stand. I've got dirt on my face. Get off. Get off. So let's go grab it. Couple hours in the future, ran up to the mod garage, grabbed my engine stand for the new EJ257 that's coming down for this car. Also grabbed some 75/90 for when the rest of the axle rebuild stuff comes in, because we're gonna lose gear oil regardless when we pull that axle out of the transmission. And then lastly, snagged 1 quart of the 5W40 needed for the oil change. Before I finish doing the oil change on this, I do want to try messing with the horns, because if I come in here and I try honking the horn, nothing works. It could be the fuse, I don't know. I'm gonna mess with the wiring in the fuse. Once I get that knocked out, we'll top off the oil, we'll get it started, we'll verify that oil leak has corrected itself. Then I wanna finish messing with that intercooler piping to try to get that bumper to sit better. I don't think it's gonna sit 100% flush, but I wanna get it sitting as best as I can. So I got oil in the car. I'm looking at the sensor. I don't see anything coming out, but I'm gonna have Melanie come down, sit in the car and rev it for me, just so that way I can keep an eye on the sensor, because if it starts peeing oil again, we got a problem. We got a big problem. I also busted out the Sparco seat for the 17. I might snag a set of those for the 05 because they're actually pretty comfortable. Pretty comfy seats. I like them. Go up to like, just give it like a quick rev up to like 5,000. Just go up to like 5,000. Jesus, race car driver. What was that? Ah, you good.
I couldn't get it up to 5,000.
What'd you get it up to?
Well, at that time I did, but it's going to like 3.
Oh. Dope, I think our oil leak's fixed. All right, looks like our oil leak's fixed, which is good. Because if we didn't fix that, that would have definitely blew up our engine. Now that we verified the oil leak is done, we've saved this engine for the time being. I need to get the bumper back on. It's quite annoying to get the bumper on because it's all zip ties. I gotta jack the car up, take the wheels off, stick my head in the wheel well, get the zip ties in there, hold the bumper on. Only annoying thing, if anybody has a solution for like quick release bumper mounts for like a flared setup, by all means let me know, because I am all ears. But let's get the bumper on, we'll verify oil level, and then I think that's all I'm doing tonight. This video took quite the different turn than I was expecting. Went from trying to rebuild an axle to saving the engine from blowing up and grenading itself. It's a Subaru, what can we do? Got fitment on the bumper marginally better. The gap nearly isn't as big, but there's just, I can't get it to go back anymore because if I push the bumper back, the flare like pushes in. It's just a whole bunch of weird geometry stuff going on up here. I just need to get a new front bumper at some point, but double checked oil. We're good on oil now. That could have been catastrophic, especially driving down to Portland this weekend. Like, this is why I'm just trying to run over the car, make sure that all checks are good. Hey, there's a Mothra. I'm just trying to make sure that all checks are good with the car to make sure that nothing's going to happen. Last thing I want is to be like 250 miles, 300 miles away from the house. Something like catastrophic fail with the car. So that's one reason why I was pushing to get the axle done today. I've been driving on that axle like that for quite a while, so I don't expect anything like uber bad to happen. But now that I say that, I probably just jinxed myself. But, you know, we're doing what we can. But that's where I'm calling it for tonight. There's not much else I can do. I've got some parts showing up tomorrow and Thursday. Well, Wednesday and Thursday, I've got parts coming in for this thing that we need to get on the car before this weekend. I haven't been to a car show in like 2.5, 3 years, so I'm doing everything in my power to make sure that everything goes smoothly with this. I'm gonna do what I can. I can't make any promises, but I'm gonna do what I can. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys on this one. So it turned into like, it evolved from a weird axle rebuild video that kind of got postponed to a different day into correcting an oil leak that would have catastrophically caused the engine to fail. The car typically takes around 7 quarts of oil, and I'd say maybe 3 quarts came out of that thing. I don't know where the other 4 quarts went. Maybe it was just leaking oil that bad. I don't know, but 4 quarts it just wasn't in there anymore. Don't know where it went, but anyways, that's all I got for you guys on this one. So if you liked the video, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, cyan. Color of the day today is red because I don't think I've done that in quite a while. And if you're not already subscribed, if you haven't pushed the button to do the thing, push the button to do the thing. And with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.